myself and cried.
Long before I got into painting, I was actually a musician, and I understand that a good film or TV show just isn't the same without the right music. It can totally create the atmosphere or mood for what we see. And it can totally influence and inspire what we paint. Now the fun part, painting with fire. With this in mind, we'd like to try something different and introduce our viewers exactly who's writing or playing some of the music we see on the show. In fact, some viewers may tune in just to see or hear who our musical guest is that week. Here's a few examples. That was a nice one. Can that be maybe? Hello there, and welcome to the studio. You're right on time because we just started a new painting here. And today's featured artist really inspired me to paint something big, as you can see. His name is Albert Bierstadt. If you've ever seen his work, it's obvious he was very inspired by the majestic mountain ranges you can only find out west. What a coincidence! Our second featured artist is inspired by the exact same thing. Only his medium of choice is the piano. So stick around and see how this painting turns out as we paint in the style of master artist Albert Bierstadt and paint to the music of master pianist and composer Kevin Kula. One thing I learned myself, I started out just painting more very realistic. When I started being more interested in impressionistic paintings, I learned if you are too careful with it, it just looks like a bad attempt at realism. That's good, it kind of takes the pressure off. It's really more fun to kind of just let things go, slap colors on there. Things don't matter so much. It's a lot more fun, but they're very beautiful paintings at the same time. Really show these strokes. That's why these bristle brushes are good for this type of painting, because it's going to have kind of a rough look whether you like it or not. It's not refined at all, looking like some of the other paintings we do on the show. They're a lot more relaxing to do if that's your intention, which is a pretty good intention. You need to find something to relax. And you also notice, which I'm always repeating, doing lots of coats. You know, I'm not doing anything different than I did the first couple coats with this painting, but everything just looks better because I have more variety of colors underneath here and so forth. So it's nothing to do with ability. So don't be in such a rush. Try to finish a painting in an hour or so. If you got the time to go back over and just add another coat, you have a little more colors in there, a little more variety. These soft edges to work into things. It's 100% better. And we're not talking about people who are just trying to express emotions and things by painting. We're talking about just trying to have something that looks good visually when you're done. It's a different kind of art. Now, as I was repainting that sky portion, I kind of felt I was losing track of my initial intention of what I wanted the tree to look like. It wasn't even necessarily how a reference picture was. Hello there, you caught me rehearsing for my debut cello concert tonight. That's right, and you didn't even know I could play, did you? Well, actually, I was so inspired by our recent guest, I was hoping I could learn in about 45 minutes. If not, I figure I have things covered either way. But if you can't make the concert, I invite you to join us here since we'll be featuring some real talent in classical music. I promise. And we'll come up with some very interesting ways to paint them. I think we can handle that.
That's not very big. Even some Bach pieces will use timpani. Timpani were the first drums to enter the orchestra in history, you know. So they kind of came in about the same time the trumpets did.
Well, here we are with one of the musicians, and we've been seeing this particular orchestra lately. We went to one or two of the rehearsals, and this is John Tuck, right?
Yes, hello.
And you play the really big violin, which they call, is it just the bass violin?
We call it the double bass or the string bass.
Kind of drawing any kind of Gauguin color, any of those brush strokes, you know. So you have to have a physical technique with your hands. But if you're really, really good, you can actually almost not rehearse. You can show them with your hands exactly what you want.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's show. You'll have to be sure and see part 2 of this classical music series. Unfortunately for me, my concert debut wasn't the raving success that I hoped. People seem to react to the music almost like you would a fire alarm. So my friends at the symphony suggested an instrument a little better for me to start out with. I'm actually quite excited, and if you don't mind, I'd like to play the piece for you as we close the show. I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Does something like that.
Yeah.
So again, we pick sort of the middle with it. It's a very fitted shape. It's, for a woman, it's a triangle this way and a triangle this way.
So if you do go to one of these fairs, no matter what part of the country you live in, you know, talk to these people and really see what are they depicting. Because
Sometimes agents and then their representatives will do the selling and they don't even know who I am.
And we obviously see a lot of speed racer artwork here, and you really almost have to learn airbrushing technique, not just working with a brush.
It's so hard, to say goodbye, to yesterday.
It's
very popular in this time to make a small likeness of someone and wear them as a favor to show your affection for them.
Use metal to change the process, and then the way that the Kjellberg family made syrup in the 1930s.
I'm not used to painting from
Real life.
the real thing. I'm looking straight ahead at the, I enjoyed the view with the road.
I can, critique it. Yeah. If you could critique it, that way I could walk away with something, this is why.
You know what standards they're wanting.
Absolutely.
What's so great about this place is this is actually a working museum. So the people that work there really know a lot about trains. They actually restore the trains, maintain them, and they can actually operate them as well. So we get to ride on these trains and experience the ride out in the landscape. This gives us a great opportunity for photos as well that you wouldn't normally have. Tom, you're one of the people that work at the museum here, and as we were mentioning earlier, this isn't just a museum where people can just look at